Hey, we're Courrier, and we are with the Los Angeles chapter at Sunset Sessions.
Philip and I originally met in college and started playing together and really didn't take it seriously at all. And after about a year and a half or so of playing, decided that we wanted to actually start a band and take it seriously. And we spent the entire summer on our own just trying to come up with band names. And we all came back with like a list of 5 or 6 band names. And we sat down, and I remember we wrote all of them like on a whiteboard. And we're looking at them and basically just left there like we're never going to have a band name. And one of those names actually was Courrier, and we're like, that's kind of cool. And we looked it up, and there was like another band that was kind of using it, and it was the original spelling of Courier, and pretty much just put that band name down and broke from there, and decided that wasn't the band name for us. And about a month later, after totally hopelessly searching through every possible thought of a band name we could find, I threw out the French spelling of it with 2 R's in the middle, and I think it stuck. Are we?
I think we're gonna say that.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now.
Yeah, the French spelling worked out because it kind of has that more like vintage aesthetic to it, which kind of seems to fit just the way that we write songs and our style of music and that sort of thing. So it seems to have been a good decision.
Yeah. Very interesting question.
Yeah, we all have different answers on this one.
We have different backgrounds. I would say like my first CD ever was Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then my second CD ever was Cracked Rearview Mirror by Vinnie the Blowfish. So if I could get any two different than those 2 CDs, my influence from like childhood was really, really broad and close to everything.
Yeah, I think that kind of influences us as Courrier, is that, we have, our music is nothing like a lot of the things that we listen to, but I think we bring in elements of all those things. So like we have some closet metalheads in the band, and I listened to a lot of like Sinatra growing up because my parents love that, and he's one of my favorites, and just a ton of different bands I think influenced us. So
Nathan's favorite artist is actually Shania Twain too. Yeah.
Not true. Over the past year, just being on the road, we've grown a lot as live performers too, and we've realized that not only do we have to make a record that's high quality, but we have to put a high quality live performance. And so we've just really focused on that, and just interacting with the crowd has been really important to us. And we just got off an acoustic tour where we were 10 feet away from 10 or 15 people, and it forced us into this box of intimacy with them where I think it really grew us as live performers. And this is kind of one of the first shows we've played since then, and I think it's going to be very interesting for us to be back on a bigger stage, and I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, we're big on feeding off the energy of a crowd, and so for us, the bigger the crowd and the bigger the stage, the more energy we feel like we bring to the table. And so we realize it's not just kind of recreating a sound that we made on a record. It's about creating a live experience. And so kind of what Taylor was saying, we just really picked up a lot of performance qualities. I think even in the past year, just being on tour with other bands that we really admire. We were on tour about a year ago with the band Parachute, and they're just incredible performers and just friends with a lot of great bands. And so we pick things up here and there.
I would say that our band is definitely as much as it is a summation of eclectic music opinions that we all have and songwriting styles. At the end of the day, what we're going for is incredibly creative and accessible alternative rock that can easily be heard on the radio, but when you listen to it in headphones at home, you're getting layer upon layer of just efforts that we put in lyrically and musically and soundscape-wise to build something that's much more than just a song that you hear on the radio that's just built out of a box.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time, or it's funny because we focus on mood a lot of times when writing songs, and when we're kind of starting, the song is written and we're starting the recording process, and Taylor's working on synth and just kind of creating these soundscapes. It just creates these moods with kind of the textures and stuff that we're using, and so we find that no matter what kind of style we write a song in, it always ends up being very kind of cinematic feeling, like very story driven almost. So yeah, we're big on responding to everything, on any Facebook post that anyone has, or any Twitter, or any tweet that anyone replies to us. We're big on responding to that and thanking our fans for supporting us. And so we feel like that type of interaction, outside of the live performance is huge for us too. I mean, we even search Courrier and try to find the people that are listening to us and tweeting about us, because we want to let them know that we appreciate that. So I think that's huge. We're big on, we've become pretty big on taking photos and kind of documenting the road on Instagram, which has been really fun for us, and trying to take a more creative look at the road than just pictures of sandwiches or whatever. And cats, which I find is always the thing that we're looking at.
Road cats.
Yeah, road cats.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fact that you walk outside and anywhere you look, you can find a cat to take a picture of. They're everywhere.
But
there's Waldo.
But YouTube, we're big on videos and expressing ourselves creatively through that way. We've just released a couple music videos, and so really anywhere that's social and popular, you can find us on that. So
I loved Arcade Fire winning, what was it, Album of the Year, Record of the Year, I can't remember which one, Album of the Year a couple years ago, and then immediately playing afterwards when they won. I thought that was a really cool moment in Grammy history, to have an indie band that's not popular to the masses win and then play after that. That was so cool. And I also love the Who's Arcade Fire Tumblr that was started. That was just all pictures of tweets where everyone was like, who the heck is Arcade Fire?
Yeah. And was it the same Grammys that Mumford & Sons played with Avett Brothers and
it was
it Bob Dylan, I think? That was really cool.
That was cool. Also, Adele this past year was pretty unbelievable. Her performance there was awesome.
Who?
Adele.
I haven't heard of her. Music's incredibly important to almost anybody, and we've kind of become consumers of music and not participators in music. And I think the biggest reason to support music is because everyone loves music. Everyone listens to music. Everyone enjoys music. It's constantly playing in our lives, and even if you don't listen to music actively, you're in just non-active day-to-day life, you're hearing music all the time, and it's putting you in a mood. And to not actually participate in that, to be a passive participant in that, is really a shame, not just because I'm in a band and I make money when people are active participants, but because, it's a part of life, and it's something that I love and a lot of people love, and I just think people should really, get into it. Buy music online, go to concerts, support your band, wear their t-shirt, tell your friends about them. And we're getting away from that in this modern age, but I think it's something that we should really go back to the roots of it, like the Beatles craze, that style.
We're in a really interesting, I don't need to tell anyone this, because everyone knows that we're in a really interesting shift in the culture of music, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think it will kind of level out after a while, but right now we're becoming consumers, and we're kind of taking it for granted, the actual musicians, and the fact that there are people that are creating art and that need to be supported. And a lot of people just consume and don't think about the ramifications that has on the artist. And it's a really interesting question, because you kind of wonder, how long can artists continue to create music if they're not being supported? And I don't think that means that music is going to die, because we all know music is such a huge influence on our lives. And so I think things will shift a little bit, but I also think that people will kind of come back to realizing that in order to have musicians that are influencing and impacting everything that you do in your lives and all the biggest moments of your lives, that we need to do a better job of supporting them. And so I'm not necessarily concerned about it because I think eventually we'll come around. But at the moment, it seems concerning. But I think it's all cyclical, and it's interesting the effect that the digital age has had on music. But I think musicians will still be supported. So I would just say support music, because I think that you can go back and look at everything in your life and have like a record that you can listen to and remember that moment in your life, and that's never going to change for anyone. And so we want to continue that longevity of music. So.
Yeah, and be a fan of music, don't just be a consumer of music.